Welcome everyone. This is Desiree. We're here on Monday, November 27th, and tonight we're talking about tethering. Tethering is a really cool connection concept where instead of our typical linear forwards and backwards connection, we actually walk in a circle, and this utilizes more sideways connection, especially for the followers. I thought this is a really cool thing to talk about because we don't often connect sideways, and many of us don't know how to do it exactly with good stacked body alignment, and so this is a great tool to practice those things, and it can help your forwards and backwards connection, even though we're more familiar with that. We started out just walking in a circle. The followers walked around the leader's right shoulder first. Left shoulder, there's no timing here. The followers could do this either way. They could rotate in and walk forwards, or they could rotate out and walk backwards for either circle.
Notice how keeping frame, the wrist and the collarbone are moving in alignment so that when the wrist moves, the collarbone moves. When Matt follows suit, he follows me and he rotates. This creates rotational connection, or at least is a pretty good cheat for it.
Yep. You'll note that I'm not allowing Desiree to get all the way around behind me, but I'm also not staying perfectly square facing her the whole time. I'm staying a little bit sideways myself. We're both thinking about taking our hips and think about taking the inseam of your pants to the hip that's away from your partner. So for both of us right now, that's our left. That increases the connection. And you want to think about this being a constant level of connection, right? If you think about a tethered ball, when you hit the ball, it doesn't have some slack and then get taut and have some slack and get taut, right? It stays taut the whole time as it wraps around the pole. That's what we're going for with this connection. We talked about different ways that the follower can initiate it. We could do it from a tuck. We did it from a right to right tuck, but you could do it from a regular tuck or a closed tuck, either way. I'm thinking about, as a follower, shooting sort of more across the slot to initiate this connection, and then followers are doing this on your own time. We also talked about how you can play around, especially if you know your partner and know that they know this, with doing a little bit more leverage. That can make this go a little bit faster and be a little bit cooler, but it is a little bit more dangerous. So be careful if you don't know your partner, and if it's their first or week or month, don't try this. We also talked about how to stop. Basically, we're in this connection. If I'm in a sort of a standard tether connection where we're both over our weight, we're not in leverage, all I really need to do is shift a little bit more forward. So I'm just breaking this tethered connection and going into a regular anchored connection. I'm not going all the way forward into compression. And followers, you don't want to assume that I am just because I'm dissipating the backwards connection. Likewise, if we're all the way in leverage, there's one step more I need to take, because right now, if I just dissipated the connection, Desiree would fall. So I need to bring her forward onto her foot, and then we can anchor back. So there's that extra step if we're getting all the way into leverage and coming back. This tuck is the follower-initiated version of this, which means leaders, you really don't know what's coming. You're just leading a basic tuck. Followers are taking the opportunity to go into this tether. You also, typically leaders are initiating the stop for this. You also want to make sure that you're orienting yourself to a slot, right? We're doing West Coast swing. So the next move we're going to do is a move in West Coast swing, which is a slotted dance. I want to stop oriented to the slot. There might be specific times in routines or spotlight performances, things like that, where I would want to stop perpendicular and change it up, but that's not polite to do socially. Then from there we talked about the leader initiated version, where I'm going through an underarm turn. Instead of my typical 4, which would be slightly forward towards my partner, I'm thinking about going back at a diagonal. I'm also rotating my shoulders slightly to the left. Followers can match that, rotating slightly to the right, but neither of us want to crunch our shoulders up, right? As we rotate, I don't want to crunch, that takes away connection. I'm intending to increase the connection slightly. The reason I'm doing this is because now Desiree can't anchor, right? She has nowhere to anchor to. On my typical forward, there's some slack. It's very clear for her to anchor backwards. This is a really important signal for leaders that this is coming, and the followers don't know this means tether, but they know that this means don't anchor, I have something planned. So I'm going to make sure I'm taking away all the slack in the rope here. From this point, I'm rotating myself, including my hand, to my right, which leads follower to walk around in this tether. And my right shoulder's leading this a little bit, right? I can't do this perfectly square because there's no signal for Desiree to keep going around. Holding without stopping. 4. From here, you're on your own time. We talked a lot for the followers about that walking speed, how you don't want to take really fast steps if you're going a very small distance. If you're thinking about going all big distance, then you could walk pretty quickly. But if you're going a small distance, you want to take slower steps. You also always want to orient your steps to the beat of music. You can walk in single time, you can walk in double time, you can walk in half time, but you don't want to walk in a time that's irrelevant to the music. I think that was everything. Thank you all for coming. Hope you enjoyed it.